What's going on, guys? It's DigiWatch TCG coming to you with another Market Watch. Now, most recently, we just got some news about the Ultimate Cups as well as the Beelzemon Cup that is coming in March and April, and I figured this is as good as time as any to be able to go over some of the cards that I think are going to be influenced by this and talk about it. So with that said, please like, subscribe, leave your thoughts below, and let's get into it. Now, as a brief summary, this is the Ultimate Cup rules. Basically, what they're going with is a single color deck build that has to include the Digi Eggs and the deck as well as one color. You can use multicolor cards. This is stuff like Flame Hellscythe, Chaos Degradation. Those can be legal as long as the colors are matching. And then they did have a restriction list here and a ban list here. It does make a lot of sense when you do think about it, but I believe I put out another video prior to this one, or maybe I haven't. I don't I don't recall. But I think that I did do a discussion on this. So we're going to talk about some of the decks that could be top decks for the Ultimate Cup as well as the Beelzemon Cup, and just some other picks I wanted to include on this Market Watch and talk about. So with that said, let's start with the Ultimate Cup stuff. So first thing is Rina. Now, if you don't know, Rina is being played in the All Force deck. The All Force deck is actually a full-on blue deck, so you can play in the Ultimate Cup really with making no modifications. Maybe you have one or two cards that you have like a Delicate Plan or something, but easily you can remove that for something else to be able to play the deck. And Rina is going for $64, and initially it was going for something like 30, like it was the lowest at 30 at one point, or I guess 39. But you see here that it's for 64 now, and there are only 8 listings left on line here. And I think people were maybe waiting on this to pick it up after Nats because a lot of people were focused on Black or Greymon and building those decks and getting those cards. But now that that's over with, people are starting to look at some of the other decks that are good and possibly not even on the radar of being hit on the ban list when we eventually do get it. So I do like this card a lot, but one thing I will mention is that there is the other alternate art that is $73, $78 at its lowest, and we have 11 listings that quickly go up to about $80 to $100. But this card here for about $10 difference, I think is a better pick compared to the other Rina if you are looking as a collector. If you're looking just to play the deck, then definitely try to get this one. It's a little bit easier to pull in terms of the ratios, but the alternate art here is really cool, and I do like the artwork. So I'm still in a search of one, but I do think this is a very good card to maybe pick up for your collection or get for the Ultimate Cup when we do get it. Another card to mention is the Camilla. Now, don't be deceived by this price here. This is $6 because it's moderate play over here, but we see the lowest actual price is $17. And if you go a little bit further down, it gets up to about 20. Now, Tai is pretty much used at 2 to 4 copies in a All Force deck. I think more people lean toward 3 or 4 because it's a 2 cost. If you get enough memory, you can pretty much play this for free, get an extra draw, or increase the DP for your Digimon, and then attack again into your opponent's security because All Force will unsuspend on play. So these are usually cards you want to hold in your hand until right at the end to be able to unsuspend and give yourself additional draws or whatnot. I think it's a very versatile tamer, and it only came out in one printing as a promo card box topper for BT1. So there's not really a lot of these elsewhere. We won't get a reprint of this until RB1 when we actually get the actual reprints. So something to keep in mind. Now, another deck that some people are looking toward is Blue Hybrid. Blue Hybrid is still very strong, despite what some people say. Tommy, even at 1, is a very strong card, and the way I see it is with the Ultimate Cup, we're pretty much getting rid of a lot of the BT9 decks, and we're going back to like that BT7, BT8 format that we had, and the top decks when we had those there were Yellow Hybrid, Blue Hybrid, and Armor Rush decks, like stuff like that. And I do think Blue Hybrid is going to be still a very strong deck, especially with newer support that we've more recently gotten via the last couple of sets. So I do think that this is definitely something to take a look at. Now, this is the event pack version, and I'm just going to show you the Kumamon here. So you see there, I'm going over both. But this one has gone down a little bit more because obviously you only have one Tommy to activate its effect. You could always Digivolve this on top of another hybrid to gain its effect. but people don't want to waste this, so it's just something to think about. The Kumon here is a lot higher because Kumon is still a 4 of, and you can play these, and it strips a source, and this might be something people are looking toward for the Ultimate Cup as another version of of the blue deck. Now this is going to kind of cross a little bit, but into the Beelzemon decks, but Fly Bullet here, the alternate art for $10 is not that bad a deal. If you buy the premium deck sets, you get about 2 of these, so you're already making $20 back just by pulling the Fly Bullets. And if you're playing stuff like the Beelzemon deck, you can play a full-on purple version of this deck to play in either the purple Beelzemon Cup, or you could run a purple deck like Beelzemon, just purple cards, in the other version, the Ultimate Cup. So this is the max rarity of Fly Bullet. I really like this card personally. If I was playing Beelstar, I think I would max rarity this deck. Additionally, shout out to Primitive. He did get into top 32 with a Beelstar deck, and we do know we're going to eventually get more and more support for that archetype. So this card definitely is a good card to consider picking up for your collection, or for picking up for the events we have in March and April. Now, something really not part of the March or April events is going to be Angel Woman. Angel Woman here is actually up a lot more than her sister, Lady Devimon, because Lady Devimon is about $30. This is about 15 more than that, so it's about 45. The artwork is really great in here, and I think a lot of people just like this card more because it searches your security, it gets you something out of it that's a fallen angel, archangel, angel in it, and then you recover 1, and then you can utilize this with Mary in a regular deck. I don't know if this is being used for any other versions of the deck or anything for the Ultimate Cup, but I still really like this card overall. I think it's just a really, really good support card for the archetype. So do consider picking this up sooner than later. As I maybe not mentioned, I'm not financially. This is not financial advice meant for anything. This is just kind of speculation on the market. It's all my opinion, and not meant to give you financial picks. So we have Jesmon GX here, Alton Art. Its lowest price looks to be about 40, but it's actually a little higher. It's about $50 here. We have about 23 listings up here, and people are looking at this card because we do get some more support when we get to BT13 and the Royal Knights, and you could utilize this basically in the Jesmon deck or any of the honestly any of the decks, because the Digivolves for 5 from any Royal Knight. So you could just put this in anything and copy their one Digivolving effect, and practically everything in that archetype does have a one Digivolving effect. But yeah, this is for $53. I think it's smart to have this at least in your collection, in your binder, rather than not have it and get caught off guard. The Jesmon deck might get much, much better when we have that set, and I'm sure we're gonna get more Sister Mons and stuff like that down the line as well. This was like kind of a brain scratcher, a head scratcher, and so I had to think about this for a moment. I think it's because of the Ultimate Cups as well. The price hike here pretty much happened in about right after the announcement was made about the Ultimate Cups. I think right over here about the 20th, 22nd, and then it started just drastically going up. I think it's going up because some people can actually play a full-on black deck with Justimon and use all the effects. And this is one of those times where it's kind of cool that like Bandai put in on like this modified rule and with the ban list, or the modified ban list, because that kind of says that you can try out these decks and not worry about like an overpowered deck like where Greymon being able to steal the spotlight. So I do see it for $17, and if you are looking to pay the deck, maybe it might be in your best interest to pick up a couple of copies of this if you're looking to max rarity. Personally, just my opinion, buying a box of Digital Hazard is just much more lucrative for yourself, because yes, you may lose on it, but look at the value here. Practically half the alt arts are about half the value of the box itself for $65. Look at Leomon, he started going down, but it was about $25, so just something to keep in mind. Speaking about some overpowered decks, Black or Greymon, it's starting to go down. I think after the Nats ended, I think a lot of people were looking at this card and saying, okay, it's great, but we don't really use more than like 1 or 2 copies of it in a deck, So we don't really need all of them. It's personally one of my fan favorite like artworks of this card. I really love the yellow, the red, and the orange colors in the back, and I have a full playset of alt arts for this card. That I was lucky enough to pull at the time. But if you are not a fan of Black or Greymon, you're looking to sell, the price is starting to trend downward, so something to keep in mind. What else do we have? We have one more card of Greymon here, and this is the Winter Pack Greymon. I actually was at a locals, and the guy across from me pulled this for winning. And the artwork, first off, is great. I mean, unfortunately, it's not a foil card, but it is going for something of a very expensive card, so for $40. This is one of the top decks, obviously. A lot of people are playing this card. It's going to even might be played in the raid version of the deck when we get War Greymon. But I do think that if you're looking to, I personally like earning the card. But if you're a vendor, if you're looking to pick it up, then it is kind of bottomed out over here, so it might be a good time. I don't know. So now I'm going to talk about some of the Beelzemon stuff, or the Beelzemon Cup stuff, that I think is worth mentioning. And the first card is Murphamon, and Murphamon I feel is going to be a card that's going to be utilized a lot more often in purple decks. I think it's going to be somewhat of a staple when you play it with Ignitemon. There's so many purple decks that play cards off of effects, whether it's something like Beelzemon, Beelstarmon, or Mastamon. Honestly, everything kind of plays by an effect, including itself. And so I really like this card as a staple card to play in those decks. Yes, you kind of have to give your opponent 8 memory, but sometimes if you're already at 4 memory and this is the only good card or only good play in your hand, playing this card, putting Murphamon on field, and playing a couple of cards that have retaliation or cross hearts in its traits is pretty good. Including, you could put Ignitemon and set up a new stack on the field. So I do think it's a really good card, and I think it is worth its price. That said, there are only 23 listings online, and it starts to trend upward, pretty much closer to the $50 mark. But I do think this is going to be one of those cards that's going to be utilized a lot more. So this is, in my opinion, is a very good investment. Try to pull more of these, I would say, or buy them. Talking in conjunction to that, Minervum Loop is a deck that could be used in the Beelzemon deck because it's pretty much all purple. It's kind of like a Cerberusmon Rush deck. And I do like it a lot because it's offensive in the sense that you have retaliation. It's defensive that if your opponent plays a Digimon or via anything, you can activate the on play one of your Digimon from your trash to the field. So I do think that's interesting. And any on play effects on Digimon played by this effect don't activate, but that's fine. So I do like the Murphamon Loop, and I do like the on deletion. You can play a Murphamon from your trash for free, which is kind of like cheating it out. So this card here is right around the same price, and I would definitely suggest trying to get a couple of copies of this if you haven't already. Of course, you could get the super rare version and just pick up those. So that's just something from my end. Speaking more specifically about Beelzemon, Beelzemon EX2 is starting to go up again because we're getting closer to the Beelzemon Cup, and even though some people not necessarily going to play Beelzemon in that tournament, they could still technically use this in the deck because this is, I think, one of the only versions that is used in the new deck. Like I think they mark it as you can use use this starter deck basically by itself and pretty much win just with one set of these cards. But you can run these ones in there and make it a little bit more competitive. Additionally, keep in mind in BT12 we do get the Beelzemon additional support, so just something to keep in mind. We do have the blast mode now. We're just a kind of a I don't want to say red flag, just like keep this in mind. This is not the version of the card that's played in the new Beelzemon deck. They actually prefer the Beelzemon Blast Mode from the starter deck. But this is a version of the card. I mean, you could technically just run one of these, and if it gets trashed in trash, then you can use its pop a level 4 effect, or you can just attack multiple swings with security checks to your opponent's security. It's a 15,000 when Digivolve and delete your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. I think it's still worth considering. It is starting to go up, as you can see here. It started to make a little bit of a trend. It was going for something like $50 a few months ago, but now it is kind of going curving back up like that again. Very cheap card I actually want to mention is the Creepymon here. You can run this in practically every deck that's purple. In the Beelzemon as in the Beelzemon Cup as an alternate win con. It brings a level 5 back. Most of our cards are level 5. You can mill your opponent out. You can trash cards, whatever you need it for. But Beelzemon is a potential additional win for you in that. And again, you can run this in the Ultimate Cup if you're playing an all purple deck to try to mill your opponent out. This with Golfmon is actually really interesting. Um, Ophanimon, Fall Down Mode, Alton Art. Now, this kind of is another version of the purple decks you can play, is purple yellow, in where you're pretty much utilizing purple yellow cards that are mainly like the Ophanimon stuff to be able to recover and to be able to use Flame Hell Scythe and things like that to be able to get rid of your opponent's Digimon. And you're recovering and you're just kind of outpacing them with this deck. So this card is being starting to go up, and you can see here it started to go up when they started making announcements for the Beelzemon Cup, and I do think that this is a good card for that deck. So just something to keep in mind. This is really has nothing to do. I just wanted to bring this up here. Vmon Starter Deck 9. We do get additional Vmon on Imperial Dramon support in BT12. And I think a few months ago this was going for about $3. Like, yeah, you can see here, like in December it was $3. I actually wanted to pick these up for $3, and you could pick up like a starter deck and pretty much get the a few copies of Vmon, and that would be the value you get. That like equals out to the starter, but now it's just worth picking up a couple of copies. So you see the lowest front here is about $1, then dollar shipping here, but this one's pretty good here. For $2.17, you can afford them for $8. I think that's a pretty decent price. So that's that. The last thing I will mention, I always like to end these things with a memory boost and just talk about what we think is interesting cards here, or if you feel like anything is going up. And my personal pick for this week is going to be Howling Memory Boost. It's for half the price of what the market is, in my opinion. I think that the Howling Memory Boost card here is actually a pretty good, decent pick. It's a good option that lets you trash 2 cards from the bottom of one of your opponent's cards. If X antibody decks do get hit moving forward, then you may see this card start to rise again. Additionally, it's the only foil printing because it is a pre-release card, and you can utilize it with decks that are all force. You can play this in decks that are like all force, the all force decks for the Ultimate Cup, because you can strip sources without the worry of an X antibody option card. So that's just for me talking about the cards I think are worth picking up. But that's all I have for you for today. What do you guys think? Do you think that are you guys gonna pick up some Rinas now? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Stay classy.